This is Slasher here at the NASL Season 4 Finals, and I am here with hosts and casters Mr. Bitter and Rotterdam, who talked to me about this weekend's games and also the little Heart of the Swarm show match that we just had. Guys, how's your weekend been so far?
It's been fantastic. Finals have been great. We set out in the beginning to do a really good show for the online audience, and I think that we've pretty much achieved that goal.
Same for you?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I wasn't sure what to expect. I obviously knew that we were capable of putting up a good show, but I wasn't sure how it would all fall together. But I was really happy at the end of yesterday. I just felt really good, and I was proud to be part of the whole project. And I think all the guys behind the scenes did a really good job putting the videos together. And I think we got quite fortunate with games. I casted a lot of good games, so that always makes me happy.
So we have the finals coming up in a little bit between Violet and Hero. We do not have a ZVZ finals for the first time in about a month, and also Polt and sort of are playing right now. Bitter, what are your initial reactions on the first of the finals and kind of the results we've seen so far this weekend?
Really pleased with the results. It was really awesome seeing sort of beat Hyun. It was cool to see, especially after DeMuslim had that great series against Violet that he just barely lost. Because I think everyone was like, well, I guess there's no more foreigners to cheer for, but sort of managed to 3-0 Hyun. It just beat him. He kind of crushed him. And it was cool. It was one more non-Korean player to cheer for. He did ultimately end up losing to Violet, but played great games, and it kind of validates his trip out here. If he comes out and just kind of loses in the first round, that's a real bummer, but he's going to win $5,000, maybe $10,000, and a lot of people are going to be talking about how well he played.
Rotterdam, you happy with the Protoss in the final?
Yeah, actually, I was coming here. Like last season, we had 5 Protoss at our offline finals. 5 out of 8 players were Protoss in Canada, and now there was only 1. I was like, It's like, well, I wasn't too sad about that because I don't really mind, obviously, casting non-Protoss games. But when I'm casting non-Protoss games, I do want to cast those guys that I really like. Like Polt is a Terran that I always enjoy casting. The Muslim is one of my best friends in gaming, so I always enjoy casting him. I love his playstyle as well. And Violet is an ex-teammate from me in Warcraft 3, so I was like, even if it's not going to be a Protoss in the final, like if it's going to be Polt against either Violet or the Muslim, or even like sort of like a Swedish guy, that would have been a Cinderella story, or Hyun. I've been hyping Hyun since week 1 of the NASL Season 4, even before he was on this sick IPL Fight Club streak. So I was like, no, I think overall I'm going to be quite pleased with the games I got to cast. But obviously in the end, Hero did make it through, and yeah, I'm happy with that as well.
Are these the 2 players that you kind of expected to be in the final, or when you were doing your brackets, how were you thinking what would happen?
It's difficult. I expected from the top side of the grid to see either Polt or Hero there. From the bottom side, I thought it was really hard to predict. I actually kind of thought that Hyun was going to make it. As I said, I've been hyping him for a long time, and I think he's an absolutely fantastic Zerg player. But yeah, Hero Violet is not a surprising final, but I also think it's one that was easy to call.
What about you?
I sort of said from the beginning that the winner of Hero versus Tasia would end up in the finals, so that doesn't surprise me too much. What does surprise me is seeing a non-Hyun final, because I swear to you guys, I thought he was the best Zerg player in the world. And he might still be, but he just had some unfortunate luck. Maybe didn't play his best StarCraft this weekend. Seeing Violet in the final doesn't surprise me that much, because in the absence of Hyun, I think Violet is the best player on the bottom half of the grid.
Right before this final, we had a big patch hit, which did some nerfs to the Infestors, and also gave Ravens a little bit of the boost. And we've seen that even from Pulse games early on. Do you think either of those changes impacted what we saw this weekend?
I don't think those changes had a whole lot of impact on the results we've seen so far. I think they will probably have a pretty big impact on the result of the final.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I do think you can see that some Zerg players were really not used to the new Infestor yet. Not all of them use Shift to Fungo. A couple of times you see the Infestors wrong in, and you just know that they tried to drop the Fungo, but they were actually not in range yet, and then they pulled them back already. Because that's, of course, how they always do it. Like, Infestor in range, Fungo, you just do it kind of on the feeling that you have, that you're in range or not. So perhaps it did have an impact on a couple of the results we had so far. But I'm really curious to see, as Ben said, like how is this going to unfold PvZ. I think before this patch, it's safe to say that Violet would have been the favorite over Hero. That's something that I don't think we would have said 3-4 months ago, but Hero has been struggling quite a bit against Zerg, some surprising losses, and I think Violet beat him the last 2 times they played. At least he beat him on IPL very recently, and he also beat him in our regular season 2-1. So, I don't know, I'm curious.
A lot of the Zergs that we've talked to so far this weekend and last week at IPL 5 and then the weekends prior to the previous events all kind of find it unfair, these changes that have happened to the Infestors, because they felt that Protoss and Zerg have had such an advantage for all these years, and now Zerg has a pretty good run for 2 months and then they get their stuff nerfed. Is that realistic? And if Violet wins the championship, does any of this matter at all?
No, I don't think that's an argument you can make. You can hardly say like, "Hey, all the stuff was imbalanced, so why can our stuff be imbalanced?" Like that's not a proper argument at all. That's really stupid. So no, I'm not gonna fall for that.
You think the same?
Yeah, I think the same. I think the changes were great. I think regardless of the result of our final, the changes that Blizzard made to the Infestor were the right ones. And they're also the last changes we're ever going to see in Wings of Liberty. As we're looking forward to Heart of the Swarm, we can already see more changes to the Infestor and a lot of changes across the board in Heart of the Swarm. So this is kind of how Wings of Liberty is going to look for the rest of our time with it.
So you guys just played Heart of the Swarm, show match just now. Rotterdam, you did not win at the very end as the Muslim, and Golden kind of fought it out in the middle. But now that we've seen a little bit here this weekend, and the past few weeks, we've seen also big patch just hit. What are your initial impressions of the game going forward?
I'm loving it, man. I already loved it before this really big patch, even though I wasn't sure how useful some units were going to be, but I was already loving it. I played a lot of Heart of the Swarm before I left to Europe the last time, and after that I traveled to China and DreamHack, so didn't play that much, but before that I played a lot of games. I was already loving it, but right now I think the game is just going to be so much better. It's going to be more fun to play, and it's going to be way more fun to watch.
Is the game going in the right direction?
Oh, absolutely. Heart of the Swarm is fantastic. It's most importantly, it's very, very fun, but also really important for the esports side. It just changes everything. The games we saw today are a good indication of that. We're all going to have to relearn how to play StarCraft, and it's going to be great for the competitive scene. It's going to be great for the spectators. It's going to be a lot of fun for us, the casters, and I just can't wait.
So this NASL Finals is back from Canada, back here in the U.S. Also a little bit different now that you're in kind of an auditorium, which is different than these warehouses and these big convention centers that we've seen for most of the big events. How would you compare, this event and kind of the experience here as to what you've been used to?
I'm really proud of the show we put on this weekend. Like I said at the top of the interview, our goal was not to create an amazing live experience. It sounds bad, but it wasn't to create an amazing live experience. Yes, we want the live experience to be great. We want everybody that's here to really enjoy it, and I think the people that are here did really enjoy it. But our focus was on making a tight, well-polished, highly produced show for the online audience, for all the people that are tuning in from home. And I'm terribly biased, but I think that we've done probably one of the most well-produced shows to date this weekend.
Do you feel like you guys have been able to do something different than the other major event organizers? I mean, you both worked for IEM for a year, so you kind of know how the other events work.
Yeah, well, it's always hard to be completely unique and different, but I definitely think that we try to be professional, yet are not afraid to make fun of ourselves, as we show a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, and you can see us do silly stuff, you can see us mess up, because, hey, we're not perfect. But, yeah, I think the best thing that we've done so far is really, almost eliminate any downtime. Whatever downtime there is, we fill it up with funny videos, we fill it up with something on stage. We of course have those 1 or 2 minute commercial breaks, but obviously you need it as a host, you need it as a caster to just calm down a little bit. And hey, people at home, they need to have a small break as well if they want to walk somewhere without missing a part of the show. Well, Sean is trolling us right now while this interview is going on. But no, I think that the way that we used our time, the way that we were, from the moment we went live till the moment we closed the show, I feel there was always something to watch, and there was never a moment where people had to wait 20, 25 games to have a smile on their face or have a good time. So yeah, I think in that way we were almost unique.
So when the NASL first started, it was only going to be announced that there's 3 seasons. Now, of course, we're at the Season 4 finals. Should we be expecting a Season 5 to come very soon?
Yes, Season 5, Season 6, they're on the docket. It's all in the works. I'm not officially announcing it, but it will happen. So you guys can look forward to a lot more North American Star League and a lot more great StarCraft.
And I guess we should be expecting the Bitterdam combo to be staying here for the very near future?
I don't think we have any plans to leave anytime soon.
That's just up to him. I'm actually way fed up with this guy. I don't know how much longer I can take this.
I think that's all what we wanted to hear. Before I let you guys go, I kind of do this with everyone at the end of the interview. Both of you need to now predict the final of what's going to happen, so that when I release this, everyone can look back at you and either laugh at you for being completely wrong or say how much you looked into the future and predicted everything correctly.
I think it's going to be a very close final. I think Violet and Hero are both deserving champions. I think in the end, perhaps in part due to the recent Infestor changes, that we will see Hero on top 4-3 in the finals.
Hero 4-2. Thought about it already before last night. Hero 4-2.
This isn't any Protoss, kind of side thing, is it?
No, this is just how I feel that the games are going to play out. I think it's going to be a little bit easier for Hero to pick off Infestors now and then, and I feel that's like the thing that he struggled most with in this matchup. He's always good with High Templars. Feedback is going to be easier if he falls back to Colossus. Whenever he gets fungled, he will be able to get a couple of zaps off, so maybe kill a few more Infestors. I think Hero's going to win 4-2.
Thank you, Mr. Bitter, and thank you, Rotterdam, and we will see you on stage in just a little while.
Bye.
Stay tuned to GameSpot.com/esports for coverage all weekend long of the NASL Season 4 Finals.